Good evening. Welcome to the May 13th, 2025 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all of the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mr. Syracusa?
Here.
Mayor Dracy?
I am here. All right, moving on with the agenda. There are no presentations scheduled for this evening. Item number 6, reports from volunteers. At this time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? Yes, come on up.
That would be me.
Okay, welcome you.
Good evening. Hi, John. I think this is the first time we've met. I'm Robin Jones. I'm the new chair of the Open Space Advisory Committee.
Welcome on.
Thank you. This is my second stint as chair. I took over after Jay Vanderhoff, the original chair, moved on to council. I wanted to introduce myself, and although I'm once again new to chair, Joe Wells and I both are original members, 23 years of the Open Space Advisory Committee.
Thank you.
First, I wanted to, and I'm sorry I'm reading this, but I got a lot of things to say, and this is going to take a little bit of time, and I'm sure there's going to be some conversations back and forth. I'd like to thank you very much on behalf of Open Space for acquiring number 36 Pequannock Avenue. The house, of course, has since been removed. That was the last house on Pequannock Avenue that was on our wish list, and now there's a contiguous 1/3 mile of nothing but open space along the river. So that was very important. That was, I think, our number 2 priority property. We also look very forward to, as probably you do also, to the rail trail officially being open.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, I haven't done the last 1.3 miles south yet, but I'll get to that sooner or later. We currently are one resident short of a full house, and also we have not had a liaison from planning board for at least 10 years. It would be nice, I think, to have that liaison volunteer. I'm trying to keep the meeting short. That might, maybe that'll help. Primarily, I wanted to discuss our current wish list of activities, which has changed quite a bit. I don't know when Joe Wells last came here and gave you an update. So there's a lot that's developed since I've been chair. Some other things have developed. We're looking for new projects. We've been so good in an 8-year period that we're actually running out of places to want to buy, although there's plenty of easements. The Salem oak trees, which were donated to us a few years ago as saplings from a 350-year-old tree, are doing very well. One is in Greenview Park, the other one is on Farm Road. Open Space keeps an eye out on those trees, and they're doing really, really well. I'm very happy to see how well the tree at Farm Road, which was the transplant, maybe not as good as it should have been, although it looked good to me at the time. It struggled a little bit, but it looks wonderful this year. Really looks good. I had gone to Dave Siegling to ask for fencing around these trees so that we can protect them. We plan on having these trees around for at least 200 or 300 years. I know we don't like to plan that far in advance, but I'm hoping for a similar success. So I contacted the fence company that we usually use, and I got a quote to install fencing at both trees. I've not heard back from Dave. The decision for some reason keeps getting delayed one week after another. In addition, I'm talking to Dave about reforesting 36 Pequannock Avenue. As we did the rest of the properties several years ago, we put in 400 trees. Open Space has continued to take care of those trees over the years. I want to do a rough inventory, but I think between 50 and 70% of those trees are still living, which I think is phenomenal. Probably 50% is good. But fortunately, it rained a lot the first year. That helped a lot. Dave had promised 8 trees left over from some project. I don't know what that was. And I don't have the status on where those trees are. There are, however, 2 mysterious trees on that property that are, as I understand, not part of that inventory of 8. I don't know where those trees came from, but I'm thankful to have them just the same. So I've contacted scout leaders to see whether, because the only thing we can use open space funding for is acquisition. It's not going to pay for trees. It's not going to pay for fencing. I don't know what the status of fencing is. I don't know what the status of the trees is, but I went to Kennedys and talked to them about trees, and I got an estimate for them also. But I'm looking for a way to pay for it. Was looking at Anjec, but Anjec's has come and gone. That was the 12th of May, and we just thought it was too much of a rush. So I contacted a few scout leaders that Tom Andrea had given me information on, and I've heard back from one of them, and they're looking into the tree project. Seems like the way to go, and I would like to have the trees in by next early spring, because that's the best time to plant deciduous trees. Sooner or later, I was going to lose my train of thought. I don't know what the status of the fencing is, so I'm leaving that, see whether the scouts can take care of that as a backup plan. Moving on, another thing I spoke to Dave about late last year was the Japanese knotweed is really taking over on open space properties on Riverview Drive. There are some barberries, which are invasive plants also. That's not nearly the emergency, that this knotweed grows fast and is very difficult to control. But it can be sprayed over a 3-year period, and that generally takes care of it. Dave tentatively said we have a company that does spraying in town, and so Dave and I need to go over there and take a look at it. Dave is really, 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 really busy, and I guess everybody knows that knows him, and I'm learning that. I would love to get over there with somebody and just show them the area, and then come July, which is about the time you should start spraying, get one application done this year, then the next year, and the next year, and hopefully that takes care of that. Another project that Joe Wells has been talking about for a while is to establish another boat launch for kayaks and canoes, similar in structure to what's on Harrison Road, which is sand and gravel, again for canoes and for kayaks. And that would be behind the Stop and Shop property, which we got an easement on a couple of years ago. I need to look into see what kind of permits are needed for that. It shouldn't be that difficult a project. There's a nice area behind Stop and Shop where that would go in. So next item, I'm sure received Frank Pinto, our consultant, a list of properties that we would like to send letters to, as we have in the past, inquiring about easements or purchasing of property. Those properties include 12 commercial easements along Route 23, the NJDOT jug handle lease, which I'm not even going to deal with right now. That's kind of a tanglement thing. 2 Valent properties on Riverside Drive, which on his letter have been, what is the terminology he uses here? Oh, good, it's not there. Oh, well, no, here it is. Will not send the following free sample acquisition targets. I guess that means not sending letters. I wanted to clarify that. We would like to purchase 2 homes, and we have tried several times sending letters. One owner, which is Valent, owns 2 houses on Riverside Drive, which are the last 2 houses on our wish list, complete. We would very much like to get those houses. I don't know how you feel about that at this time. I don't expect that they're going to say, hooray, yet let's do that, because I know last couple of years they did a very nice job of fixing those 2 houses up. But things happen, and it would be nice to have, again, a contiguous from the playground all the way to the turnpike open space, but those 2 houses stand in the way of that. I'd like to get a feel from you somewhere around the line whether you would be interested, would allow us to send a letter out to those owners. And the easements, of course. The easements, and I don't have the details, but this was brought to council a long time ago, probably by Frank Spizzeri, I imagine, who was chair before Joe, before he took ill. We came up with a cost, a lawyer's cost, to do all the paperwork. I think we want something like 50 feet from the river, which is kind of a nightmare to figure out since that changes from year to year. 50 feet in was the only amount of easement. That's the only property we want. We don't want the whole property. We just want to continue the river walk. It's used by deer and fishermen, as it always has been. So there is something of a trail back there. And then the last thing here, which I know your opinion of, is the 2 properties, the Schottmeyer properties above Woodland Lake. I'm not going to argue your decision. There's nothing we can do. We're only advisory. But keep this in mind, and I know why, and I understand why, and I accept that it's a tax issue, and what are the odds you can build on this piece of property which has a lot of limitations to it? What you could build there profitably, who knows? And maybe that never happens, and that would be great. But should they decide to pursue this, the way to make your property look better is to cut every friggin' tree down. And now you've got this awful view from Woodland Lake of the highway. And I just want you to think about that. It will long be forgotten that we've lost tax revenue, but it will long be remembered that those trees are all cut down. And I think that's going to cause a huge problem. There's a nice path there, people are fishing, boating, and I'm just driving on Alexander to go to Route 23, and I'm admiring how beautiful those trees are, and the mirage that maybe that goes on a few acres, when really it's the backdrop is 100 or some odd feet, but it has the illusion of being deep woods, and it's beautiful. And I think having those trees cut down is really going to screw up Woodland Lake, and I think it's going to piss off a lot of people. That's all I'm going to say on that. I also wanted to get your opinion on the one remaining house on Harrison Road, which is on the other side of Harrison Road. We've tried a couple of times to acquire that house unsuccessfully. I think we had when it was with the bank, I think we had an opportunity, but there was a miscommunication. And I'd like to know your opinion whether you think that house has value to purchase. And again, the money is coming from minimally, comparatively, from the trust fund, in which we have plenty of money to go toward that. Plus, it goes to county and state funding. So it's not like it's not costing us anything because the money is already there. They love the project that we've been doing all these years, and they just rubber stamp every presentation we've gone to because we have a master plan of what we want to accomplish. And then that brings us to the aquatic park entranceway. Oh boy, this has a long history as well. This goes back almost as far as open space. Maybe it goes before. It goes beyond. It goes before me. This is a Dr. Thomas Shivey dream, and he and Joe Wells talked about this dreamingly for a very long time. It's 40 acres, aquatic park. Almost nobody knows where it is. and even fewer know how the hell to get into it. There have been, over the years, there was a plan to put in an entranceway over the railroad tracks near the leaf depository in the Route 23 overpass. And so we had this grandiose, we got a grant, we had this grandiose design of what the entranceway would look like. You'd have a structure, and you'd have gardens, and who the hell's going to take care of that? That was certainly not what we had in mind. We just wanted an entranceway in. So eventually, and I believe I've got this right, the railroad was willing to put in, have us put in some sort of rubber walkway to go over the rails to get into the park. And it seemed like we were making progress, and the counties were okay with this. I thought the town was okay with this. And then Joe Wells, who's been spearheading this for quite a while.
It certainly feels that way sometimes.
It does feel that way. And it's almost certainly true.
That was good timing.
I didn't turn mine off either. So Joe's been on this for a long time, and I haven't seen Joe for a few months. It's been one thing or another with him, but I did finally get to see him yesterday, and it reminded me how important he is to open space. He has incredible knowledge of what's going on. He has a long history in this town of environmental issues. He and Tom Shivey spent a lot of time together exploring possibilities about the rails to trails. They've been on that for a long time. And now I've lost my train of thought. Okay, so Joe Wells was told by maybe somebody in council, sorry, I don't remember exactly who said it, might not have been council, might have been somebody else in town, to hold off on this plan until the bicycle trail is done. And of course, they put the fence in there, and so the plan was to put in an entranceway into Aquatic Park through a fence line near where the leaf depository is. Recently, he met with Mr. Russo, who said, well, let's not get the county involved in this quite yet. Now, this is just what I'm getting from Joe. I'm hoping that I'm representing this properly. And they took a look at the property, and in essence, they said, it can't be done. You cannot get an entranceway there because you have the leaf depository there, you have trucks going by. This has been going on for so damn long. We got property from the DOT, we leased it for 99 years despite Paul Hollick's objections, and that's not something I wanted to say, but I didn't. So we got this property, and right now it's got a bunch of DOT soil and stuff on it, but the plan was to gravel it and then have this entranceway into Aquatic Park. That all seems to have fallen by the wayside. We wanted to purchase it, but that was poo-pooed by council. So we've still got like 80 plus years on that. So the question is, how do we get into Aquatic Park? With now, and as I understand it, this is not being allowed at all because of the lease depository and the trucks, and sorry about that, for safety reasons. They don't want people playing on the piles or whatever. And I'm sure that there's restrictions about putting fencing in and a floodway like that. But we need a way to access this park. This is Tom Shivey's dream for many decades. We have to find a way in. Now, if you go further south, can you get special permission through Crestmont to get in that way? We've got no cooperation from Mr. Bauer. I don't know how else we can get into this park unless you canoe there. Not everybody's got a canoe. We've got 40 or so acres of parkland that's gone to waste. There are paths there, at least there used to be paths there. I would like council to take this very seriously, that we need another way into this park. Where the leaves are right now, this was all bought through funding that, I'm not, you got a permit to do it, so don't ask any more questions. I'll leave it alone. Where am I then after that? So I'm slowly winding it up. I just have a few more things. Open Space is going to continue to care for all trees that have been planted over the years. That includes Pequannock Avenue and Riverside Drive, and the two new trees that are at Greenview and also Farm Road. We're going to be responsible for the interior. We have asked to have fencing put in to protect the trees, and we've agreed to take care of the interior. And so far, that seems to be going okay, except I don't know what's going on as far as the fencing is concerned, whether it's going to be approved for both or neither, and when that might happen. I just don't want deer getting there. We have temporary fencing there, which doesn't look that great. And I guess that keeps the deer at bay. Okay, so then the second to last item, so back to the River Walk Park, or I should say the River Walk, all the houses that we've collected and torn down in effort, I thought, to make a park, which would also include any of the commercial properties that we have been donated, such as the bank on Jackson Avenue, a couple of other properties back in that area also. We got in anticipation of having a continuous river walk, which isn't going that great because 12 owners so far have not been that interested in listening to us. However, for what we do have there, in anticipation of enlarging this, I would like to see this park become a park, and I would like to see Dr. Thomas F. Shivy's name associated with that park, because he is the inspiration. He's the early inspiration. Before I came into town 29 years ago, I think he was already working on this. I'm sure he was working on this. And I think it would be a wonderful tribute to him, and important for us to know who's responsible for a lot of good things that happen in this town. So I am told that you would probably like a map and some description about this, which I can get our consultant to do, and then I can present that at another meeting sometime this year.
Okay.
And then I have one last thing for Kyle. Okay, I just want to see your reaction. I don't. No, I'm kidding. I do. I understand that you are part of a Morris County ad hoc committee.
Yes, I was going to explain that as soon as you were done.
Okay, consider me done, except for this part. I have nothing more to say, but you're ready, so
Okay.
I'm ready to listen.
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I speak?
It's all yours.
First of all, I want to thank you for everything you've done and everything that the group has done. So yes, I am part of an open space ad hoc committee. We researched for the last 2 years about using the county open space fund monies because so much open space has already been taken. There'll be a ballot question going on in November, basically stating if we could use the open space monies to go towards stewardship. So it's not building, it's not even, gravel, not paving. We really wanted to keep the natural resources, but gravel driveways, that would be included. A boat launch, that would be something that was included. Getting rid of invasive species, that would be included. So there's a lot of stuff on that ballot, and that'll give you a lot of financial, and they haven't figured out, what the payment per town is going to be or how much per town. It's still in the early stages, but that ballot question will be coming up in the November election.
Okay, good.
And it was a lot. We met probably 20, 30 times, and it was people who were just as passionate as you, and it was wonderful to be a part of.
Sorry. How do you envision this will help this town In what type of projects do you envision that this would include?
Your invasive species.
Okay?
Okay, so if we needed something to do that, or I think we talked about cutting down some trees and it may be a bigger thing to cut down the dying trees or something, we could purchase that with it. You needed to...
I'm sorry, can we replace those dead trees with live trees?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, good.
Yeah, anything stewardship of open space. So without building a ball field, that's not what it's all
No
about.
flagpole?
Don't know whether they will have a flagpole.
That was an issue a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that
Bird
might be effective.
Birdhouses are a yes. Anything to help. They haven't delineated exactly what they're doing, but we narrowed it down to keeping the space pristine and not overbuilding on it. We didn't want people using the money to build a ballpark with lights and all stuff like that.
Right.
That's not what the consensus
But it has to be approved first.
of the group. It has to be voted on by the voters of the county.
Yeah, that's coming up in November.
In November, it's
That's
gonna
something
go.
to look forward to.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I didn't know the time frame.
Yeah, it came out of our committee last month. It went before the freeholders about 2 weeks ago, and then they'll redefine it, and then a bunch of us are actually going to be ambassadors, which are going to go to open space committees and and talk about it, and we'll have a little
Okay.
more knowledge about it then.
Will you be doing that with
Yes.
Document?
Yep.
Oh, good. I look forward to that. I really look forward to that.
Yeah.
So that's after November's ballot.
Yeah, we'll be coming around beforehand because we really want people to understand the gist of this.
Okay. And so when can we get an answer concerning the properties of interest that I discussed? Whether we can send a letter. I know we can't do it to the owner of the Woodland Lake properties on Route 23. That I guarantee is a done deal for this year anyway. We're keeping that as our number one priority because we think that has the greatest impact, positive impact for this town. The Woodland Lake two properties that are between 23 and the lake, that stays top priority, but that's hands off for this year. So we're going to pester you about that next year too, I'm sure, and probably the year after that, because I think it's extremely important for the integrity of that park to keep the highway noise and the sight of the highway down. You go to a park so you can relax, not so you can watch a billion cars drive by, and my car's one of them. But
If somebody bought those properties and wanted to build on that, couldn't we make it a stipulation that they had to leave the buffer zone?
I think we're exceeding kind of
We're getting ahead of ourselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of restrictions on that property already. Back to the lake, you've got to be that much further off from the lake. And I think I've heard that they actually own into the lake to some degree. I guess that the water comes and goes over the decades. I hope I've covered everything.
Mr. Mayor, if it's okay with you, if Mr. Chairman Jones is done, I'd be happy to try to address some of the things that he identified.
Yes, I think that's fine, and I know you had met with Mr. Brewer earlier, so I know, again, we're not going to have an answer for a lot of this, but if you want to hit on a couple points.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate your consideration, and I especially appreciate that you're going to take the time to think this out as to where to go from here, rather than say no. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With respect to these matters that involve staff, so the council's aware, as the chairman was generous with his time with me earlier today. May I proceed, Mr. Samet?
Maybe not.
Henry? Can I talk? With respect to the items that were identified that involve staff, I'll follow up with staff and address the things that need to be moved along. Regarding the access to Aquatic Park, it's a bit of a challenge based upon the location of the leaf compost facility. As the council is aware, there's a resolution scheduled for consideration this evening. Significant engineering has to be put into it, so it is not what it was 30 years ago. With the permits involved, There's a lot more complexity to it, but I'm going to work again with staff and the committee and the volunteers to see if there is a way to do it somehow, to see if we can get past it. And then with respect to the properties, governing body will be discussing that in closed session tonight, and then presuming they give me direction, I will relay that direction to the committee.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Broad. Are there any other volunteers out there? Seeing none, we are going to go into public's comment. The next item on the agenda. This comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Additional time is reserved later in the meeting. We welcome comments, suggestions, and questions during the comment period. However, the purpose of this is to allow public comment, not to engage in dialogue. Oh, wow, you're really ready.
We're ready.
If you have a specific question, please feel free to pose it and then follow up with staff via telephone or email. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, please. 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Do you want to come and talk? Okay, you may.
Thank you.
Throw the microphone up. You're a little taller.
Hi, Carl Nielsen and Bob Egan on behalf of Sunset Pub and Grill. And we're just here tonight just to seek or just to discuss and possibly seek relief about an agreement that we were basically forced to sign last week concerning 10 years of unbilled sewer charges. So about a year ago, we were sent a notice. I guess the Lincoln Park Airport, combined and its various tenants. In our case, we received a bill for $59,000 representing that 10-year period. So during this the last 12 months or so, we've been seeking documentation just to how do we arrive at that bill, and then somewhere along the way, it was determined that the business adjacent to us, Lincoln Park Aviation, was tapped into our water supply this whole time. So, and the town is aware of it because I think last July or so, they installed a new meter.
It was uncovered.
Yeah, it was uncovered, right? And they installed a new meter for that business. So, we had an attorney, and he was talking to the town attorney, Mr. Rosedike, and then we basically were told, sign this agreement, or we're going to shut your water off at 2:30 p.m. last Thursday, effectively putting us out of business. So I think there was they had a dialogue going, and but then it was. I think Mr. Rosette came back to our attorney and said, sorry, no changes, take it or leave it, sign it or out of business. So we signed it. But these unresolved issues are, what is the allocation that the neighboring business is responsible for out of that $59,000? And in addition to that, we've been paying since the inception of Sunset Pub 18 years ago, we've been paying our water bill, right? And so therefore, we've been paying Lincoln Park Aviation's water bill. So we need to kind of determine what's the allocation. And the only thing that I can, that maybe is, it's not exact science, but we do have a corresponding, for the period, the 3-month period ending February 28th this year, while Lincoln Park Aviation had their own meter, right, versus the period 1 year prior, our water consumption went down about 20%. From 75,000 gallons to 61,000 gallons. So that's about an 80-20 split. So I don't know if that's, again, we can look further into this, but on that basis, that $59,000 is about $12,000 that they're owed. That's one item. The other provision in this agreement was that our repayment term had to be for 3 years. We were requesting 5. If anybody knows about the restaurant business, you basically live week to week. So a $60,000 bill, or even spread out over 3 years, that's about $1,800 or $1,700 a month. Over 5 years, it's more like $1,000. So we're asking for that. And then they also imposed an interest charge of another $3,000 on top. So from the period from when the bill was originally provided to us about a year ago. So interest on $60,000 or $59,000 for a year equals another $3,000. We respectfully asked that to be waived, and we didn't pay the bill. We've been paying this, just for the record, since it was determined that this billing oversight was determined or found, and subsequently we've been now receiving bills for a year. We've been paying those monthly or quarterly bills, of course, but while we're looking into this, we didn't pay the $59,000, obviously. So.
All right, thank you. Yeah, at the end of this comment period, we'll address it, but I know we've talked about it here a lot. So.
Okay.
So, and then...
Any questions, or?
No, I don't think there's any questions at this point, but we're gonna, once the comment period is over, we're gonna let Mr. Brewer or anybody address, and then if we need to, we can talk about it later in, closed session to see if we want to modify that agreement.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, folks.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, actually, let them go first, please. Yes, come on up. I want to talk about butterflies. Right? All right. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Emma. And I'm Chloe.
Hello, Emma and Chloe.
We are proud of Girl Scout Troop 96818, and as you know, we are in the process of completing our silver award. For our award, we're helping the monarch butterflies recover by making our town a Monarch City USA town. Since our last meeting, we attended an environmental committee meeting to speak with them about our project. They suggested that we purchase milkweed plugs to plant at 2 planting locations. These locations being Foothills Park and the Pequannock Township Library. We have just recently picked up our milkweed plugs from the Parsippany Library and have been caring for them every day. We also attended Library Fest, where we gave out 100 packets of milkweed seeds to the community.
We are scheduled to plant the milkweed seeds at our 2 locations on Saturday, May 17th. In addition to the planting, we are going to purchase 2 signs from Monarch City, USA, and place them at the library in Foothills Park. Having the signs visible will show the community our efforts so they can continue to support our cause. We will also be attending the town event, Pride Fest, on June 7th. Hopefully, you are all available to visit our booth, where we will be giving out additional milkweed seed packets to encourage our community to plant their own milkweed. We are really hoping that our efforts will help to positively impact the monarch butterfly population. Thank you very much for your time and support.
Thank you for coming here and telling us. This is it's a great idea. So
thank you.
Look forward to what time are you planting on the 17th?
We're starting at 9 a.m. for, is it Foothills first? The library. Oh, we're going to the library first, and then at 1 o'clock we're going to the Foothills Park.
Okay. All right, good. Good. We'll have to stop by and say hi.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. That's on the 17th, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need anything else from us, come back.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for that
Thank
project.
you. Thank
Wonderful.
you. All right, public comment. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't know where I should put this thing. Basically, I just want to address the council.
I guess just your name, please.
Excuse me?
Just your name. Just state your name.
Henry Samick, Forman's Court.
Yeah, we don't need your address.
Pequannock Township.
Thank you.
That's okay. Everybody knows where I am, I'm sure. I just want to address the councilor. Some number of years ago, maybe 1 year or 2 years ago, I mentioned about the senior campus living project, which is now called Cedar Crest. And I asked the counselor, I actually mentioned about, some brief comment on what happened. And he said many people were involved. What I would like is, from the counselor, a letter with the names of those people that are many that were involved.
In the development of the Cedar Crest property?
In how it all came about.
Sure.
In 1997, when I was the mayor. But I will give you a brief synopsis of what happened.
Okay.
Michael Kraus, who was the alderman of the 6th Ward in Wayne, where the American Cyanamid property was located. They were going to build that development there. Michael Kraus said explicitly, I don't want it there, because eventually, after it's done, they will have one of their members wind up getting my job as alderman of that ward. Okay? So Michael Kraus called me, told me about it, introduced me to Wayne Rush and Vice President Walker of Erickson Properties. Okay. Now, I went out and talked to a few people about the Greitzer property, 330 acres up on the mountain that was zoned for single-family residence. And I said to myself, I made a statement one time when I was on the school board to Peter Scangarella, when he said, well, why don't you move to Florida like my parents did? And I said, that's kind of ridiculous when you can have something, that locally, hopefully, where your parents could stay. And that came to my mind, and I said, that's great. That's a good idea. So the 330 acres, which were Cedar Crest that were on the mountain, I went and got a hold of Munir Badan, who owned that property, even though at the time I wasn't sure it was him, but it definitely was. Greitzer went to prison for gun running. Okay? Munir Badan somehow got the property. I don't know how, but he got it. So we had another problem. We couldn't find an entrance off of Mountain Avenue for Cedar Crest because it's no way in heck would that ever happen. So we had to find an entrance. So I went to see Michael Didio, the mayor of Riverdale. Michael Didio said to me, we have 13 acres, $2 million. I went back to Erickson Properties. I said to them that $2 million is what Michael Didio wants for the property. They said, well, don't worry about it, we'll purchase it. They purchased it at no cost to the Township of Pequannock. As a mayor, I was on the planning board. I went and introduced that to the planning board. We annexed that property from the residential to C1. It became commercial, right? And we had our front entrance off of Route 23 because we purchased that 13 acres, even though Erickson Properties paid for it. But I want you to know, if it wasn't for Michael Kraus calling me in the beginning of my term as mayor, there wouldn't have been any Cedar Crest there. And if it weren't for me going to see Michael Didio to get the 13 acres that were off of Route 23, right, for an entranceway, there wouldn't have been a Cedar Crest there. And then, when he got his $14 million for that property, as Munir Badan, I said, there's this bank, Berkeley Bank in Florida. They happened to had the bad notes for the 5 people that started a corporation that were going to buy McDonald's Beach and establish it as an office building complex. Right? And I said, well, I didn't want an office building complex there. But, Michael Didio, when he mentioned about that, the 13 acres and opened the door that way, then I went back to Erickson Properties and said, okay, Michael Didio, they paid you $14 million to Munir Badan, and Munir Badan went out and developed the property, as we now know, or we did know, as McDonald's Beach property. Okay, it was a swimming hole. Well, a lot of people were objecting to that, but I felt it would be a good income for taxes. Legacy Castle brings in $492,000 a year in taxes. That was a good income. Cedar Crest was supposed to bring in $7 to $10 million, but what happened with that was that they were all priced out at residential, not residential and commercial. And then later on, it changed. I think it was a lawsuit involved, if I'm not mistaken, and they wound up saying, yeah, you have to pay commercial rate on the commercial property, and residential on the residential property.
I'm just still unclear what you're asking.
Pardon?
I'm still unclear what you're asking.
I just want
a letter.
This is the counselor. He mentioned something about other people were involved in the situation of how Cedar Crest came about, or senior campus living.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're looking for. You're naming a lot of people as you go through the history. I don't think anybody's ever doubted your involvement in it.
I asked you if you had talked to Mike Hubner. Remember? I said, did you talk to Mike? Did he explain to you what happened?
I understand what happened.
Now you understand?
I do.
And you understand the whole story then?
I understand the part of the story you've told. I've heard it before from you, too.
Yeah, well, I didn't go into detail.
Yeah.
But I wanted to let people know that, I did it for my township.
Okay.
I didn't do it for any profit. I did it to help my township. It helped me too, because my taxes were stable since 1997 as well.
Okay.
So I just want people to know what happened.
Okay.
All right, but I would like to have a letter. If you have other people names that were involved, I'd like to know who they were.
Well, you've named several people tonight.
Yeah, but I was involved with it all.
I understand.
All right, but I want names of people that you claim you knew that were involved. Is that okay?
Well, if you can...
Fine.
Would you agree to do that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Henry.
Anybody else for public comment? Yes, come on up.
He's giving us the names.
William Slipmaker.
Welcome.
Good evening, council. So I was here, I sent you guys an email last Tuesday, I think it was, and I am here just kind of addressing an idea that I had, would like to pursue, that I believe would benefit the town. So I would like to install a free little library in Greenview Park. In the slideshow that I sent you, it outlines a couple different locations, but I think this would definitely benefit the town, and so I was just here tonight to kind of just ask the council if you would approve of this and look to work with you guys on this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, once we're done, we'll ask Adam what the process. But Mr. Brewer, what the process is.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? Yes. Come on up.
Wanda Ramirez.
Hello.
Hello. I was here in the last public audience, so I'm here back. I want to talk regarding the dog park and next to Lyman Park. It's been 3 weeks, no notification, no update on the issue. We got 10 dogs with 3 people. Nobody's watching the dog park, and the dog park is next to a playground. So I don't know what the county is waiting for to a kid to get hurt. People know from Pequannock also bring dogs here, so there's no registration. Nobody is paying attention to that dog park. It's completely unattended, and it's in a residential area next to the playground. Children, 10 big dog with 3 people attending the 3 dogs. By the website, the rules is 2 dogs per person. So that rule is not being followed.
Okay. When we're done, we'll. I don't even know if it's finished yet, but we'll ask Mr. Brewer where we are with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, at this, where are we? There will be no additional public comment. We will continue with the agenda. Mr. Brewer, do you have any comments? I know we talked about a couple things, but...
Yes, I did my best to keep notes, Mr. Mayor. With respect to the sewer bills and the Sunset Pub, I appreciate the engagement from the gentleman who made the presentation. My recommendation to the governing body would be to, if they so desire, pull the resolution, and the consideration of their request can be discussed in closed session. I think there's a lot of information there. Unfortunately, it's really a relatively recent discussion that took place as opposed to the notice. So now that we have something to talk about, if the council sees fit, my recommendation would be that would be an appropriate venue to discuss and consider those requests.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'd like to do that, too.
Okay, that's up to the council, so if you want to do that, that's fine.
We can do
By
that.
the time that the resolution comes up, just add attorney-client privilege to review what can be possibly done there. With respect to the Girl Scouts who left, my daughter's doing her silver award too, so good for them for coming to a council meeting and speaking up at a microphone. That's not an easy thing for people to do.
They did well.
They did very well.
They did good. I was used to be a horrible public speaker at that.
They did great.
Yeah.
They did great. I think Mr. Samick's comments were addressed. With respect to Mr. Slootmaker's proposal, he did send an email. He and I had some engagement. I credit you also for coming up with a way and having an understanding of how these things work. If the council sees fit that there's no objection to an installation of something that's on municipal property, if you direct me to, staff and I will work with Mr. Slootmaker to put together some more concrete plans, which will ultimately can be approved by the governing body, and then license can essentially be granted to allow that.
I'm good with it.
I'm good. That would be great.
I'm good with it.
No issues?
No issue.
No, so I'll reach out to you. We have each other's contact information. I'll touch base. We can meet, get something together on paper. Ultimately, the governing body can approve it, and then we can proceed.
That'll be part of the discussion.
And then with respect to the dog park, it isn't done yet. I didn't realize people were using it. We'll have to have a conversation with PD about that. I don't know what other notification can be provided. It's there now.
Enforcement.
As far as when it's going to be open, well, that's the issue. We'll have to PD and figure out what they're going to do. And once it's open and running, then the anticipated process would be what was at the old dog park when it opened up, where there will be access controlled and registration to ensure that there's safety taking place.
So how is that monitored?
Right now, it's just PD monitoring like in any other park.
So if they see people there now, should they call PD? Or who should they call?
They're welcome to call PD.
Call PD? And because it's not open yet, so nobody should be using it. Okay.
Yeah, it's not complete, so we can work on some signage.
Yeah.
Just like the bike. And unless there's any other questions from the council or the mayor, those are the responses I have to the comments in public session.
There's a whole list of stuff that you have to do. Right?
Correct. Right, because they want to ensure their safety, their vaccinations, safety for the participants at the door.
All right, any other comments from council?
I'm kind of happy that you're going to address the entrance to Aquatic Park, trying to figure out a way, because 40 acres.
It's a lot.
About acres.
He has a point. The fact that nobody knows it's there and that it's accessible except by kayak, and Tom Andrea's trying to get me in one for the longest time.
I've walked through it.
Yeah, that's a project that
I actually have. But it's beautiful. More people should be able to take advantage of it. And if there's a way to do it, I say let's do it.
Yeah, I think when there was initial discussion at the council level, it was when the path was being completed about asking the Parks Commission for permission.
Right.
I think one of the unexplored hurdles was our own operations. That was something that was almost neglected in terms of the process, because I'll speak for myself, I didn't anticipate there being that challenge. And then when it came up, we got to figure out some way to...
Right, I'm sure we could figure out some other way there.
Yep.
But off the walking path is so perfect.
Yeah, the walking path gives you a nice way there. We just got to get the last little bit.
Right. Maybe we can do a bridge over.
Bridge over, there we go.
Over, under, we'll do a tunnel.
Open up the tunnel.
All right, moving on with the agenda. Public hearing. Welcome to the public hearing. Mr. Brewer, you ready for the 2025 municipal budget?
Yay!
Before the hearing is open, Resolution R 2025
Folks, thanks so much.
-106, which provides for the budget to be read by title, will need to be adopted. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-106.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Syracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Dreesy?
Yes. Mr. Brewer, do you have any comments before we open the hearing?
Real quickly, there was a public presentation made on April 8th. I'd like to express again my appreciation to the staff, the volunteers, the council, everybody who participates in the budget process. It's a rather lengthy one, but as I always say, many hands make lighter work. The roughly $23 million spending plan includes a 3% tax levy increase. Of that, 2.3% is really municipal. The balance is the libraries. The utilities, the 3 utilities that remain are all balanced. The corresponding increase has a rough impact of $50 on the average assessed house in the township of Pequannock. We recognize that the goal is always to keep taxes as low as possible. However, there's extraordinary increases in costs. Review of the documents that were posted online in the budget will show significant increases in things like health insurance. So there's issues, unfortunately, that we contend with being an employer that are somewhat out of our control, though we do our best to control them. So with that said, there's also a robust capital plan. There was some comment in prior years about not doing enough in the parks, some more work in Greenview Park, some more work behind the municipal building. So the goal is to provide delivery of services and not only maintain but improve some of the spaces that we've had for many, many years. So unless there's further questions from the council or at anything during the public hearing, that's all I have to report on the budget.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments from council?
No, just good job trying to keep it down. And like you said, on average, it comes out to what, about $50?
$50 a year, just over $4 a month on the average assessed home.
Even less.
All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
If there's anyone in the audience that has questions or comments on this budget, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Syracuse?
Yes.
And then Mayor Dreesy again? Yes.
Yes again.
We get to vote twice.
Oh, goody.
Twice is important.
The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the 2025 municipal budget. Any further comments, Mr. Brewer?
None unless there's questions, Mayor. Thank you.
Nope. Any comments from council?
No.
Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-107, adopting the 2025 municipal budget?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-107.
Well, second.
All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Syracuse?
Yes.
Mayor Dreesy?
Yes. Moving on is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, thanks for everyone's participation in the budget. It was a great process, and with everything online is nice and transparent. With respect to the council's agenda further this evening, you have several or a few ordinances, 2 for public hearing and potential adoption. Those are the general capital ordinance and the water utility ordinance. Both of those do not include the issuance of any debt, fully funded capital through the raising of rates or through the taxation process, so that saves ultimately money. The last ordinance for introduction is the salary ordinance. This is the legislative approval for the payment of salaries to those individuals who are not represented by a collective negotiating unit. Next, highlighting a few things, the Marvin Road or PV Park Road parking area. A number of years ago, when the path was being installed, there was a lot of reaction to the fact that people had been parking in an area that we learned was not actually ours or part of a road. It was a component of the right-of-way that the county had acquired, and guide rail had been installed inhibiting parking. Through some conversation with the Morris County Parks Commission over the last probably 12 or 14 months, we have an agreement for the council's authorization to allow for the council and the township to improve that and once again make it parking. There's also a corresponding appropriation within the capital budget for that, so we'll look to try to get that done as expeditiously as possible.
Do you think before the season starts, or?
No way before the season starts. Maybe before the season's over. We have the estoppel period following the adoption of the ordinance, and then we got to move.
I thought we kind of already had a little bit of an agreement with them that once we took it over, we could do that and get everything done.
Yeah, well, we just got the agreement.
This is the formal
May 6th.
agreement.
Okay.
Tonight. So they conceptually agreed, but we needed the document before we could proceed, and they needed to open it. So as soon as as soon as the ink is dry, we're going to proceed, but we got to get through procurement. So I can't make any guarantees for this season, but we're going to try. As mentioned during an earlier discussion, there's a resolution for engineering work associated with the township's leaf compost facility as a result of changes in the stormwater management regulations from the DEP. There's specific permitting and plans that need to be put in place to manage the runoff from the township's leaf compost facility. And lastly, for discussion, we have the 2026 DOT municipal aid application, Phase 2 of the Sunset Road improvement project. Unless there's any questions, that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brewer. Any comments?
No, I was just going to say on the one, I know there was a recommendation from the engineer on the one, but then after further discussion and research, you guys made a different recommendation. Everybody was on the same page, I guess, at the end of the day.
We have a difference of opinion among the staff.
The only thing I had a question on was can I ask now about Mr. Cycling's memo? Is this the time to ask that?
That's Mr. Russo's memo.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Sure.
So I was trying to understand where it talked about possibly, well, I interpreted it as could there be extra costs associated with DPW involvement, whether it be overtime or...
So just to give a summary of the issue, the township, although it's not required by law, solicited 3 proposals for engineering services to get this work done so we can maintain the permitting of the site. 3 proposals were solicited, 3 were submitted. One of them needed a little follow-up with some questions. The engineer made a recommendation for Bowman, which is in writing, which is roughly $50,000. Following a review of the Public Works Director and I, Dykstra Walker Design Group came in at $32,000. And based upon a desire to save as much taxpayer and utility money as possible, yes, there's the possibility that there may be a little bit more in the hourly rate if we have to go beyond that, but I think we got a lot of room with roughly 40% of the contract price. And as all 3 firms are licensed professional engineers who have experience doing municipal work, based upon our management approach, I figured the lowest cost with a licensed professional was the best option.
Yeah. I was just worried about change orders or going over or whatever. That's why I was asking.
The possibility exists that there may be some hourly rate issues with the Dykstra Walker Design Group, but again, that $20,000 difference,
we have about $12,000.
I like our chances to do this under the $50,000.
Is there a reason why he had to submit it 3 times?
There were questions that were perceived to not have been appropriately addressed. But again, this is something that is exempt under the local public contracts law. It's free to negotiate. It's not a bid.
Right, you were able to look at it.
We could have picked one firm and just gone with them, but in an effort to be cost conscious.
It's a little bit different than doing the
It's
bidding.
very different than a formal bid. It is an item that is exempt under local public contracts law and an authorization of professional services. But it led to good debate, and council doesn't usually see it aired, but I felt it owed to the township engineer that the council should see that he did his due diligence and had his recommendation, and we respectfully disagreed, and the director and I make ours.
Hopefully Frank works with him.
No, I don't think there'll be any problem.
Yeah, okay, that was my only question.
There's significant respect among all the members discussing this, including the professionals. So
All you can do is the best, and like you said, pick the lowest as long as it's responsible, and hope that it doesn't go over.
and manage it accordingly. And if there's egg on our face, I will come back publicly and acknowledge that and let the council know.
Okay. Just make sure they're scrambled first.
Yes.
Otherwise, that may hurt. All right, thank you, Mr. Brewer. Public hearings is next on the agenda with ordinance number 2025-06. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2025-06 is an ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Pequannock in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $1,524,350 for financing thereof.
Thank you. Is there any comments from council?
No.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Treese?
Yes. Next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2025-07. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2025-07 is an ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Pequannock Water Utility in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating the sum of $300,000 for financing thereof.
Right, is there any, thank you, is there any comments from council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing on
second.
ordinance number 2025-07.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-07.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Treese?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the introduction of ordinances. I think we're going to hold, which one?
Resolution.
No, that's a resolution.
No, we got to do that one.
Good. All right. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance 2025-08, this is for the introduction of ordinances.
Yeah, this is just an intro.
Ordinance 2025-08 is an ordinance establishing minimum and maximum salaries and pay rates for designated officials and employees of the Township of Pequannock.
Mr. Brewer, any comments?
As noted earlier, this is the legislative authority to pay those individuals not represented by a collective negotiating unit. The ordinance is predominantly unchanged. Those numbers that are changed are bold throughout the ordinance. If there's any questions on anything specific, I'd be happy to answer it. Otherwise, this is something that is an annual tradition.
Any comments from council? Hearing none, is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
I make a motion to introduce ordinance number 2025-08.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Treese?
Yes. The next item on the agenda is resolutions. Now is when we're going to hold number 2025-115.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Did I get that right? Okay. Yes, sir. Ms. Marsh.
Yes.
Beginning with Resolution R 2025-108, approving the designated special event permit application for the First Aid Squad Oktoberfest. 2025-109, approving the designated special event permit application for the Holy Spirit Annual Carnival. 110, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2025 solid waste utility budget pursuant to NJSA 40A487. 2025-111, approving change order number 1 for the Pompton Plains train station renovation, increasing the contract with Alden Bailey Restoration Corporation of Ridgefield, Connecticut by $4,524.88 to a revised contract price of $329,334.88. Resolution R 2025-112, authorizing an application to the Morris County Community Development Block Grant Program. 113, authorizing the execution of a management agreement with the Morris County Park Commission, authorizing the continued use of an area contiguous with the Pompton Rail Trail, accessed by Marvin Road and located on Block 306, Lot 5. 2025-114, authorizing a professional services agreement between the Township of Pequannock and Dykstra Walker Design Group. R 2025-115 has been pulled, and R 2025-116, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the May 8th, 2025 bill list.
Thank you. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
I have two. On 2025-111. So that change order was just because to replace the platform boards? That wasn't in there before?
The project is 90% complete. They identified that there are two braces that aren't actually braces, they're 2x4s. So one of the components of the change order is to fix those braces. The original contract called for the replacement of only those boards that were in need of replacement. But based upon the fact that it's 90% complete and it's not a significant change order, the thinking was to do it once, do it right, and replace all of the boards. And if anyone hasn't seen the train station recently, it's beautiful.
Looking good.
You know, it's funny, when I saw change order for the train station, I was like, uh-oh.
I know,
And then I
that's
saw $5,000. I'm like, oh, yes, fine.
And just to be clear, there is a
That's good.
$15,000 allotment in the contract for other change orders, so the total amount, the change order is only for the $4,000 amount of change, but the additional charge is based upon what's described within the resolution.
Right.
It's actually more because, again, it's 90% complete, so it's like, you know what, we waited till it was done and let's get it done. The contractor also, there's going to be another railroad station sign that they just designed and built for us. It's going to be on the other side, that's not being charged for.
Nice.
Great.
And
It's
the
been a
majority of
fantastic
that was
project.
done by grant.
Yes.
75% was paid for, yes, by a grant.
Yeah.
All right.
Which we had to get twice.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for answering that. My other question just had to do with this grant. Actually, I was glad to see that you found, a grant for the senior house bathrooms, the ADA bathrooms, which is great. The only thing I was concerned about is it looked like it was supposed to be submitted by April 3rd, and the date on this was after that.
Because it's a federally funded grant, there was a lot of unknown. So we had our application in on time, we just need to submit the resolution after that.
Oh, okay, because I thought I saw a different date on the app.
You did.
All right, okay.
The application was...
All right, so we're okay then, we're still within the time.
I don't know if we're okay, but we're good to go with the grant.
Okay.
We applied.
We applied, it might have been after the fact.
I'm looking at suspects, but the rest of you are probably okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-108 through 114, and then 2025-116.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vince? All right,
Yeah.
we'll let you have a
All right,
second.
I'll let this-
Roll call, please.
All right, Vince.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Treacy?
Absolutely, Dave, I like that.
I don't know how to spell that.
The next item on the agenda is items for discussion. This is the 2026 NJDOT Municipal Aid Application.
I have some issues.
Okay. Based upon the discussion last year, Phase 1 of the Sunset Road replacement project was initiated, and there was discussion about Phase 2. And at the time, I said before the application would be submitted, we would schedule it for discussion of the governing body. Within the packet for the council's consideration is a memorandum from the township engineer, as well as a picture and some graphics. So we have a little bit of time before the application is due. If the governing body has some input, changes, or they would desire things to be different in terms of this application or the whole application, we serve at your pleasure. So whatever the council would like to discuss and direct, this is what is being prepared and recommended by the engineer. We're all ears.
Is Phase 1 already complete?
No. Phase 1 is being budgeted for in the 2025
Right.
budget,
That's what I thought.
and the plans are done, but we can't go out to bid until the money's available.
Right.
I would ask that when we get these pictures, that we get them with the color. I'm pulling it up on my phone
You
now,
can't see it.
which is kind of
He
difficult to
references
do.
red lines, blue lines.
Because
Hard to,
it's almost impossible to see here as opposed to when we pull it up on our phone, so I'm not...
I mean, it's hard to see
I'm not
color on a
playing
black and
Candy
white photo.
Crush, I'm looking this up here so I can see.
I have only one color version, and it's small.
yeah, it's hard.
So I got a couple questions. So there's a farm stand directly across the street from Brooklawn Drive. And if you put curbing there, where are people going to pull over to park? Right now, they're able to pull off the road. If we do curbing, I ask that it be some sort of Belgian block like we did in the village on a slant, so people can still pull off. Mr. Russo references speeding on Brooklawn. Is that a traffic study done? I mean, I can't see how people are speeding
I kind
there.
of disagree with that, too. He wants to make the opening smaller onto Brooklawn.
I also don't agree with shrinking the opening.
I like our wide openings.
We did that on the Heritage Court, And we didn't take into consideration of moving the lamp posts, so now the lamp post is like 10 feet onto the property owner's lawn, because we reduced the, looks kind of stupid if you ask me. All of our streets are, now he wants to make them, I just don't.
That's in color.
What was that?
It'll change the look.
Yeah, the recommendation from an engineering perspective narrows the throat of the intersection, which creates a better turning radius and slows cars down. But obviously, there's a planning dynamic to this, and it's existed for a long time. So hence the benefit of the discussion. If the council would like to see things changed or omitted, obviously this is the time, and we can come back with a revised version and submit to the council for consideration.
There's also a huge oak tree on the edge of the road, which is going to have to be removed if he puts curbing in front of 164 Sunset Road. And there's also a red line in front of the old Grace Bible Church. There's already curbing there, so I don't know why there's a red line saying that there's going to be new curbing there. Right here.
Yeah, I don't think we need a guide rail.
So the guide rail's not up to us.
Yeah.
But we got a
If the
guide
project
rail.
is submitted, so one of the great examples I like to use is the sidewalks to nowhere. So sometimes we see a project where there's 4 pads of concrete and the transitional area, and it goes to absolutely nowhere. That's an indication that a state grant was likely obtained and funded it, and unfortunately, they control the requirements for those kinds of improvements.
Right.
So the guide rail, as noted, may be required or it may not be required. That will be up to the DOT.
I'm all for the guide rail, but why do we need a guide rail and curbing?
Well, they're going to do a guide rail because all of a sudden it's a sharp right-hand turn.
No, I'm talking about along the creek on Sunset Road.
Oh, no, I was still on Brooklawn.
Well, there's already guide rail there now.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's one.
I know, but when he comes in and he cuts that road off.
Yeah, I agree with the guardrail, but not the sidewalk on Sunset and Brooklawn. I
So you're
wouldn't want to
taking
see
the road,
that
that's not
narrowed
cut
either.
Right, well, there's no sidewalk.
Nobody, and that road's really not that busy. I
I
travel
didn't mean
that road
sidewalk,
every
I meant
day.
curbing.
So what I'm hearing is limit the curbing and do not narrow the throats at the intersection.
Yeah, look at that.
And
This is
Belgian
guide rail
blocks so
all
that people
here.
can pull off.
Right. Well, if we're limiting it,
No, I'm talking
I would see if we could eliminate it.
right here. Well,
Unless you can eliminate
no,
it.
So this is curbing.
Right.
That's a pretty narrow road right now here.
It
But
is.
if you put the Belgian block on an angle like we did in the village, you can still pull
So
off.
some consideration of that.
Yeah,
If it's curbing, you're not pulling off. You're going to be, if you break down, you're going to be in the lane of traffic. Right. There's nowhere to go.
So you either do no curbing or think about Belgian block, is what you're saying.
On an angle.
I don't think we should do curbing.
I don't
on that
even
road.
think you do. I don't even
That's
think you
where
need
my
the
gut would
Belgian.
go, is if there's consideration over the curbing, I would pose the question of eliminate the curbing.
That would be my
As
first
if it's
choice.
not there now.
I would
It's not there
eliminate the
now.
curbing.
The benefit is it provides
This is the
a
old
bumper
farmhouse.
for the road, and the asphalt
This is
will last
farm road.
longer.
Correct.
Okay, so.
But if it's not there now, unless it's
Curb
required by the DOT.
Yeah, if it's
and
required,
council would like it
because-
eliminated, we can eliminate it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's required
More of a country
because
road.
of,
Yeah, exactly.
I like country roads.
yeah,
Limit
agree.
curbing and leave the intersections as designed.
correct.
Are there any other comments on the application as it's currently being conceptually presented?
Other than that, I'm good.
And the guardrail you said was just being extended.
And that'll be subject to the requirements of the DEP, or excuse me, the DOT. For the members of council who recall, the Hillview Road project, we got a grant to improve that, and when they came to inspect it, they said, why hasn't the guide rail been upgraded? And we were potentially on the cusp of having to pay for that, and we got another grant for it.
Right.
Because that was in excess of $400,000.
Yeah, I just think it'll take away from the beauty of that road.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Or if there's a different area that the council would like to see subject to the application, or request to have other areas recommended, that's also within the council's purview.
Could we save the guide rail from PV Park and put it over?
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
That's a good one.
All right, so I will bring that feedback back to the engineer, we'll revise the concepts, and I will schedule for further discussion on the 27th of May.
Okay, thank you. Bring it back. All right, item number 13, there were no reports and notices. So item number 14, council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Okay, most of mine are just announcements. Since the last meeting, we had the Little League Parade and the opening day. That was such a great success. Glad the rain held out. The Martin Berry House was open for the Pathways of History tour on May 3rd, and I believe the number was 104 visitors came through, which is really good, and that was just on that one day. I think the next time they're going to be open for touring is Sunday, October 5th. I guess there's going to be another event. We already talked about the improvements to the railroad station. They continue and are going well. We all know about the ceremony on May 29th behind Town Hall here at 3 o'clock for the Pompton Valley pedestrian path and bikeway path. I know it wasn't really our call. I don't know if there was any collaboration between us and the county or whether they just picked that date, but there was a lot of disappointed people because they thought it would be on a Saturday or a day when a lot of people can come. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't going to be able to make it because they're working.
I think the county's schedule was, the county's schedule was super busy because I had spoken with Dina about that at one of our meetings. And
plus it'd be a lot of overtime.
We got input on where, we did not get input on when.
Yeah, that's a shame because I know like the whole Historic District Commission, nobody can make it. Let's see, what else we got? I don't have to talk about these yet, they're far out. The Chamber of Commerce is holding a Shop the Town event on Saturday, June 14th from 10 to 3, and there'll be a little ceremony before the shopping begins at 9:30 at Panther Park in Pequannock, so come out for that. It's kind of like a whole, there's going to be a trolley, and there's also taking you from one end of the shopping district to the other, and it'll be kind of like not a scavenger hunt, but they give you a map, and you go and collect things and visit all the shops of the people that are going to be involved. So if you're around, come to that. A lot of us went to the Unico Taste of the Town. That was a success at Holy Spirit. I just wanted to make a couple of announcements for Pequannock Valley Rotary. They're holding a free luncheon on May 21st. And there's still tickets available, but you don't get tickets, you just sign up. Sign up either at the senior house or call or text me, or tell any Rotarian. We know the Pride Fest is Saturday, June 7th at Greenview Park. I think most of you are out of town, right?
I'm in Cape May.
Yeah, okay. If anybody's around, they wanted us to stop by. Relay for Life. Did anybody sign up yet besides John?
I'm doing it by myself.
You're going though, right? I'll sign up.
It's the same day, right?
It's Saturday, June 7th at 5. I plan on doing it.
I did it by myself.
I'm down the shore.
I'll be in Cape May.
You're not going to come home?
For a wedding.
No.
If I can do it, I'll definitely do it, John.
I've been there for 3 weeks.
And don't forget, we have an Eagle Scout ceremony, I think, on June 8th, right? Matt Zienski, 2 o'clock at the senior house. Are you away?
Sorry, what day?
June 8th, I think.
Is that a Sunday?
Probably. Yes, it is. Sunday, June 8th.
I think I'm coming back.
I want to give another shout out on Rotary. Pequannock Valley Rotary is also hosting a 5K run in June. That's on June 8th. So you can sign up to either be a sponsor or be a runner or a walker. Also, we had Shred Day this past weekend, and I went to that and dropped off 16 boxes of papers. So that was...
Is there a limit of 5?
that was a whirlwind.
None of them better
Is
be
there?
for business. It's only for your home.
Send them a bill.
I want to take a look at that.
No, I didn't hear that. I also saw the Holy Spirit Carnival's coming up, June 3rd to June 7th. Again, I know a lot of people are out of town. What else? Some of us went to the New Bridge Gala this past weekend. That was a great success. And what else do I have? And that's really it. I didn't have, I just had the Historic District Commission, and I already reported on that. So I think that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Melissa. Councilman Cole.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Best of luck to all the Little League coaches and softball, baseball coaches and players. Most importantly, have fun. Company One met on May 2nd. Very excited about the turkey trot that is scheduled for Thursday, November 27th. That is actually on Thanksgiving morning. They are looking for sponsors, runners, and volunteers to help. As Councilwoman Florence Lynch said, Unico tasting of the town looked like it was a huge success for Unico. Many great local restaurants and food establishments were there. There was a line that took me about 15-20 minutes to get in that night. Newbridge Gala was very well attended, and congratulations again to Morris County Sheriff Jim Gannon. Thursday, May 22nd at 11:15, Chilton Hospital is having a memorial service for Memorial Day. The Memorial Day Parade was scheduled for Monday, May 26th. Same attire as in the past, except for maybe Mr. Saracusa. Not sure if he's going to be in uniform this year.
No, will not be.
All right, so shorts and a golf shirt. Friday, May 11th, Pequannock Company, I'm sorry here, hold on, let me make this, get this date right. I can't even read my handwriting. Friday, May 16th, Pequannock Company 2 is having a cigar night at Franklin Steakhouse. It's $125 a person and includes 2 top-rated cigars and a premium buffet. If anyone wishes to attend, please let me know, and I will put you in touch with a fire department person that can get you a ticket. Can someone send a letter to the property owner of the Pequannock Mini Mall? I'm tired of riding by there and having garbage out in the front. There was a mattress in a box spring the other day, and now there's old cabinets. They have dumpsters in the back, and that's where it should be going, not on the street. And also, as Councilwoman Florence Lynch said, the Holy Spirit Carnival, July 3rd to the 7th.
July or June?
June. And is there any action on the possibility of cleaning up Foothills Park, the down trees? I know you've trying to been working on that, but I don't know if they had success.
The Public Works Director actually entered a requisition to hire a company to do it. I've asked for some additional quotes to be solicited. We want to take advantage of the opportunity to clean up what we can, but it was for a lot of money.
Okay, so we're at least exploring it.
Had he had his way, we would be underway, but I slowed him down to see if we could chop that.
Okay.
It was big bucks.
That's all I have. Thank you very much, Mr. Brewer and Mayor Dreese.
Thank you, Dave. Councilwoman Russell.
Thank you, Mayor.
No, you're not coming.
Environmental. The BioBlitz was very popular at BioBlitz. They had 2 different sessions, and the kids, they saw macroinvertebrates and microinvertebrates. You probably know more about this than me, Rob. I have no idea what they were, but they're bugs. And they saw birds. They did say that a series of bugs that they saw in a stream were bugs that eat pollutants, so they said that it wasn't very clean, which was a little disheartening to hear, but it was good. They do a lot of good work, those environmental people. You don't even know all the stuff they do. It's always behind the scenes. Upgrades to the library will be discussed by the architect on May 21st at the meeting, and hopefully it will all be approved. It's some good stuff going to be done finally after many, many years. A couple weeks ago, I had the honor of marrying Asia and Anthony. I want to wish them the best of luck. They are a lovely couple. August 5th, National Night Out. Put it in your books. And June 27th, the fireworks. Oktoberfest, September 27th for the first aid. 3 bands, lots of vendors, lots of fun. They still only have 1 ambulance. Still, the 1 ambulance goes in the shop from one place to another place to another place, and they still are able to answer tons of calls. They had in April 107 total calls. 34 was to Cedar Crest. March it was 109 with 38 to Cedar Crest. February was 86 with 36 to Cedar Crest, and January 104 with 46 to Cedar Crest. So Cedar Crest is still kind of taking advantage of our first aid, but hopefully they have been having conversations with them to try to get them a little...
Buy an ambulance?
A little better. Yeah, that's what I said, but we'll see.
When is the Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest is September 27th, right behind here. They hired 3 bands. We approved it tonight, so it's all good to go. 3 bands, tons of vendors. They always get unlucky with their weather.
John, can you say a prayer, John, to have the weather be nice this year?
Yeah.
I don't think
I'll say a prayer, too.
I don't think they let Greg pick the date, so I think we'll be okay.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Better coming from you.
October 27th, it starts at like 1 or something?
Yeah, it starts at 2, I think.
2.
Yeah, it's a whole day thing. Yeah, they're doing good. They're getting sponsors. Those guys work hard. They really do. They really do.
It's on my calendar.
And I think that's all I have with my chicken. Unlike you, Dave, I can't read my own writing with my scribbles. I already discussed the open space. That's it.
Thank you, Kyle. You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'll interrupt you if I...
Oh, you may. Councilman Saracusa.
Okay, so Parks and Rec, we had a good meeting, mostly discussed a lot of the e-bikes in the parks and how we're going to kind of mitigate some of those risks. I know I had some discussion with Adam about that, and, I don't think there's a lot that the police can do. However, as far as the Parks and Rec's perspective, maybe some signage or something like that we can put up. So, we're looking into that a little bit more, just developing awareness, maybe with the schools, doing some kind of...
Those electric scooters.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. I almost got run over last night. I had my meeting and I've been trying to walk more, so I was walking home and I was like right in front of just a little something, and this guy in all dark came like whizzing by me. I didn't even see him. He almost ran me over on the sidewalk.
See him crossing 23, everything with delivery folks are using them now, so they're here. I don't know what the enforcement answer is, but we're working on some of the mitigation just to keep people safe in the parks. Really just the awareness too with the parents, and maybe getting, like I said, some schools involved, just kind of pushing out that message. So we have that for that. Open space was my daughter and my wife's birthday, both on the same day. So I was unable to attend the open space. However, Mr. Jones did a very thorough and accurate job.
You're willing to repeat everything I said.
We got it on record.
Yep, it's on recording. But thank you very much for that very thorough report.
Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, I'll be there for the next one, for sure. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. Okay, a couple things for me. Just a quick thank you to the staff on the budget. It's always a big undertaking. Got that done. Train station does look great. It looks looking really good. I'm looking forward to the fence coming down. I would like to just to give a shout out, and I'm not going to say his last name, but Ronald from Pequannock. He's getting an award, I guess, at a ceremony with the veterans. He served in the Navy from 78 to 82. So congratulations to Ronald for that. I'd like to say that. Relay for Life, I guess I'll still be walking by myself. And then the Little League Parade was awesome. Yes. It was. That's usually the second best highlight, is throwing out the first pitch, but I let somebody else do it. So that was
That was such a total job.
Even better.
Just letting somebody else do it out of the goodness of your heart. And it meant a lot to him. And he threw a perfect strike.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Pitch. Was a lot younger than me, too.
Checks to Relay for Life, is there...
Yeah, I'll send the link around again. I'm not good with this stuff. I'll try. Because Leah is...
I won't be there, but I'll write a check.
Okay. Checks are good. And I just, with the Little League Parade, again, shout out to the First Aid Squad and the Fire Department. They're both there at every event. It was nice walking up Washington and walking around the corner and seeing the big flag hanging from the 2 ladder trucks. It was just awesome. And also the high school kids, the boys were... The high school and I think PV boys were out there, congratulating the kids. The girls couldn't be there because they had a game, but it's just neat to see, with even the rain, everybody that came out. It's nice to see the town come together for that. I'd like to, First Aid Squad and Fire Department, thank you for all you do. Thank you. And I think that's all I got.
And Mayor, before you move on, can I ask the town manager a quick question? I meant to bring it up before, and I thought of it when Dave was giving his report. When he was talking about the mini mall. Is there anything we can do? People ask me all the time about private residences, when they have a lot of junk on the front of their house or their porches, or, and it looks terrible, there's nothing we can do about that, right? Or is there? Because it's not going in their house, it's outside. And then also with the mini mall, I know there's like a broken down truck down there with a flat tire for like years, and I just wonder.
Right, so code enforcement can be a little bit of a sticky wicket. It has to be specific to the issue, so I can't really give you a general answer to a general question, but specifically, if anyone has any concerns over potential violations of code enforcement, contact the staff at 99 Alexander. Raymond Metzger would be the principal point of contact. There's also a section on the website where it can be reported through the website, and the staff will follow up, conduct an inspection, and make a determination. If something is actionable, we take action. If something is not actionable, we advise people why.
It's got to be reported.
Maybe he can go in the back before we write the letter and just look at that truck, because it's been there. It's got two flat tires.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take a look, and if there's something that is enforceable, it can be enforced. Sometimes there are things that are not enforceable, and much to the ire of people that don't like seeing certain things, the code is the code.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to clarify.
Right. Next on the agenda is public comment. As a reminder, we welcome comments, suggestions, and questions rather than dialogue. The comments are limited to a total of 3 minutes. Please, if anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Yes, come on down.
Wanda Ramirez again. I just have one question. I get the message regarding calling PV Park in case we saw any people in the park that is not supposed to be in use. But I do have another question. Why the residents should be responsible to monitor the park and the park is not locked so people cannot go in and use it? Because I'm a working person and we only 3 houses there. PV Park rarely going around Lyman Park whatsoever. So it should not be on the residents' responsibility to watch for people to go into a dog park that is not open, which we do not agree to open a dog park in a residential area next to that playground and you got kids. So I think you should do something more to monitor that, close it, lock it, have somebody to monitor that, because all of us work, and that should not be on us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Yes.
Henry Samick. Question, on that road that is in front of Sunset, West End Avenue, is that one of the roads that's going to be affected by this redevelopment? Where they have it, where it's wide and they want to make it closer together or narrower together, I heard something about something by
This is on Sunset, further, like past the...
It's not West End Avenue, though.
Brooklawn and West End.
Yeah,
Brooklawn and Sunset.
Brooklawn and Sunset, what we're talking about.
All right, so it's not West End.
Not what we were talking about tonight.
All right, because, I mean, that's just stay the way it is. I would never see that, becoming straight and adding more property to those on each side of that road if they were going to do that.
Okay. Yeah,
also,
we weren't talking about that tonight.
Any work that's done on Sunset in front of the high school, they do have a macadam laying machine that levels it, because if you drive in front of this high school from Boulevard to West Parkway, I think I'm on the ocean. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know what the heck, who did the macadam work there. But obviously, they didn't use the macadam leveling machine because it's not straight at all. I think they straightened it out on Jackson Avenue by the other side of the railroad tracks. That was also, in the beginning, wavy. And they got a leveling machine there, I imagine, and straightened it out. So, I mean, that's important because nobody likes to drive in the ocean. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Yes.
I make my own noises when I get up. Robin Jones, Pompton Plains. Just I need a clarification because I just didn't absorb. Under resolution for approval 113, what area are we talking about? Continued use of an area contiguous with the Pompton Rail train. What is that about?
I guess it's the, we'll talk about it a little bit more if you want when we're done, but it's the part of where they put the new guide rail in.
Yeah.
Right there.
And so what's the future of that guardrail?
Well, we're going to take it out.
You are? Okay, yes. Yeah, I knew that was maybe going to be addressed.
Well, we got to wait until the county did their stuff, so.
Yeah, but first we got to open the bikeway first. Where's the new dog park located?
It's in Lyman Park.
Oh, it's in Lyman.
Yes.
Good, that sounds like good use. Yeah, okay, well, you answered that question, I didn't, okay. Regarding the Brook Lawn speed issue, can we put a speed monitor thing? There's one on West End right now to see whether there really is a speed problem. Apparently, there's some dispute as to whether that's a problem or not.
I mean, I don't see how people speed there, but...
Yeah.
We can ask. Yeah, we can ask them too.
I don't know if they need a study or if they can put the trailer thing there or whatever.
When is Open Spaces consultant Frank Pinto, when is his contract due up?
We have no idea.
I don't remember what the timing is, but I mean, I fully support rehiring him. He's been a wonderful source of information. We had problems before that, but Frank has been so dependable and so informative. He's been great to have on our side. Just one other quick question. I'm just curious to why you approve minutes at the end of the meeting rather than like for open space we do it at the beginning. Is that every committee does it at any given moment? I was surprised to see that at the end because you're talking about the last meeting. You're obviously not talking about the minutes of tonight's meeting. So that's, so I'm going to wonder, so, whatever. Okay, good.
There's no rule.
Probably that's when she gets them done.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Yes, come on up.
Dana with Zach. The mayor's cleanup on Riverside Drive, thank you for that. Thank you for cleaning all of my neighbors' recycling that blows in the wind and they don't go and collect. So I appreciate that. So next year, they'll probably have another task for that. However, somebody's collecting sticks, large branches, and they're putting them in piles on the road, still on the, where the houses used to be, for the open space now, but there's piles of them. Is the town going to pick these sticks up? Because I remember they cut down a tree in that park, and then we flooded, and all those logs that JCP&L left came down our street. And if anybody was driving a car at pitch black night, they're not seeing those logs. So now I'm concerned if we overflow, now we got sticks. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm a little disturbed about this dog park thing with 3 people and 10 big dogs. And and if it's not even open, like she said, that should be locked. There should be no access to that park at all. That is a concern, especially with young kids. If adults are working and there's a 12-year-old, that can be home alone, they go out and play. And these dogs, now they're in a pack, if you ask me, and one follows the other. What happens if one of these kids, gets hurt, or the dog decides to do something? Dogs are very temperamental, just like people. Okay, so, and then my other thing is, when the people come around to your house, Verizon, the solar panel people, whoever, what is the requirement for them? Because I'm going to give you 2 examples of what happened to me. One night, I came home, it was still before, daylight saving, and I was backing into my driveway. I go to open my door, and there's a woman from Verizon standing there. I didn't even see her when I was backing into my driveway. I don't even know where she came from. Okay, so she's I opened the door, and she's like, hi. Okay, scared the heck out of me. She's lucky, that I was still sitting in the car. And she's like, I'm from Verizon. I think they were doing the FiOS thing or something. I don't know what they're doing, okay? And then just tonight, the same thing. Guy came on one of his little electric scooter things, and he's with the solar panels, but all he had was an iPad. Nobody's showing anything, you know? Anybody can get a Verizon uniform. Anybody can just say they're selling solar panels. So what is the requirement for them to go door to door? You know, and then his line was great. He said, "Did your neighbors tell you I was coming tonight? Why would my neighbors tell me that you're coming to my house tonight?" You know, like, it just unnerved me.
Seemed odd.
He shouldn't have been on my, you know, he shouldn't have been there. So I want to know what the requirement is for that, and, you know, and I don't want to hear a piece of paper that they just shove in their pocket. There's got to be something more to identify them, and that they've been here getting a permit to go door to door. So that's it.
All right.
Those sticks are more...
Sticks. Sticks. All right, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Seeing none, we're going to close this section of public comment. Mr. Brewer, can we just talk about, I guess the sticks. I don't know who's picking them up. Can we find out? I mean, is that open space maybe cleaning them up?
I have no idea. I'll follow the Public Works and ask if they remove them.
Shame, Robin. I didn't know.
And then I guess on the solicitors, what are the requirements? Do we know exactly, or can we?
That has been a subject of discussion that was presented to the governing body. Mr. Ostek, I'm going to defer to you.
So, yeah, we have issues with our ordinance. What do we do? At this point, Carol, we just
register people.
We just register them, yeah.
Okay, do we give them something to carry with them saying they're registered?
They don't have an ID?
We give them something which says they've been registered. We have copies of their IDs of some sort, and we ask them to carry them. We have no way of enforcing that.
Yeah, no, we don't go away, but at least the residents know that they should be carrying something if they don't have something from the town.
They should have an ID and a list of vendors. And the police department has that same.
Is that what it is?
It's not a permit, it's a registration.
Solicitor's registration.
Yeah.
How often do they have to register? Like if she wanted to check, if she wanted to check to see if these people were registered, she'd have to know their name and then come to you and see if they were registered, I guess, right?
It's once a year. It expires at the end of the year. And I mean, we do ask that they provide a number of place we can go and complain to.
Well, is it a blanket registration? Like, if we have 20 employees, 20 people can come to my door in a year?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that we can talk about. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's for the people. But you can also ask them, like I do, just politely. I'm not interested. Please leave.
Well, that's good.
So you know, because So okay. Correct. Oh, sorry. So, Mr. Brewer, any other comments on what was mentioned?
With respect to Brook Lawn, I don't believe there's actually a speeding issue. I think that was a comment recommended by the engineer with respect to the throw to the intersection. When it's wider, people can approach an intersection and go through it more quickly than if it's at a 90-degree. And then, although Robin's not here, the open space consultant is appointed annually by the governing body at reorganization and submits a proposal in the fall.
Okay. All right. And then can we at least lock the gate at Lyman Park for now?
I'll follow up on Lyman Park generally with respect to all the comments.
Okay.
Mr. Tracy?
Yes?
I just wanted to answer the comment about the minutes at the end. I believe the reason for that was because we didn't want to renumber all the things on the agenda. So we added it at the end.
Okay. To me, it's fine. Whatever. As long as it's on the agenda, that's when I do it.
In case he watches the video.
Yep. Got it. Speaking of which, the next item on the agenda is minutes for approval. So we're looking at the March 25th and April 8th regular meeting and the March 25th budget workshop. Are there any comments on these minutes?
No comments.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 25th budget workshop meeting minutes.
Just that one?
Oh, I can do the other ones? All right. March 25th council minutes and April 8th council minutes.
And the March 25th budget workshop?
I did that one first.
Okay, sorry. Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Next item on the agenda is the closed section discussion. Is there a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session to discuss contract negotiations relating to property acquisition and insurance consultants?
The mayor as well as attorney-client privilege.
Oh, and attorney-client privilege, right, we added that. Yes, sorry.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, at this time, the public portion of the meeting is recessed for closed session. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.